Human learning is influenced by the family, the community, the school, and the societal structure in which the child is born and brought up. Apart from this, the child's own psychological characteristics have a strong influence on his or her ability to learn, as well as how he or she learns. I am Jose Rene S. Casili III.
I am Jeneline L. Banyares.
And I am Marisa Martires Braga.
We are your discussants.
Our topic is about factors affecting learning.
In this chapter, we will discuss factors that have direct or indirect influence on student learning. After going through this chapter, you should be able to classify major factors affecting learning,
Discuss psychological factors influencing learning.
Explain environmental factors influencing learning.
and describe various methodology of instruction that affect learning. Physiological factors include how people feel, their physical health, and their levels of fatigue at the time of learning, the quality of food and drink they have consumed, their age, etc. Here are some physiological factors that are important when you try to study or learn something. First, sense perception. Sensation and perception are the basis of all cognitive learning. Weaker the power of perception, lesser the amount of learning. A blind man learns far less than a normal person. Impairment of sense organ is a handicap in the process of learning. Second, physical health. Health hampers learning. Sound minds is only in a sound body. Sound physical health gives vigor and vitality to pursue learning activities for a longer education. A diseased person is handicapped by the normal physical strength necessary for any mental activity. Number 3, fatigue. Muscular or sensory fatigue causes mental boredom and indolence. A number of factors in the home and school environment may cause physical and mental fatigue, such as lack of accommodation, bad seating arrangement, unhealthy clothing, inadequate ventilation, noise overcrowdedness, and poor nutrition. Longer homes of study also cause fatigue, which affect the learning capacity. Next, number 4, the time of learning. Morning and evening hours are the best period of study. During the day, there is decline in the mental capacity. Experiments on children have shown that there are great variation in learning efficiency during the different hours of the day. Number 5, food and drink. Nutrition is responsible for efficient mental activity. Poor nutrition adversely affect learning. The type of food also has some effect. The adverse effect on neuromuscular system and consequently upon that learning capacity. Number 6, atmospheric condition. The high temperature and humidity lower the mental efficiency. Low ventilation, lack of proper illumination, noise and physical discomfort, as we find in factories and overcrowded schools, hamper the learning capacity. distraction of all sorts affect power on concentration and consequently the efficiency of learning. Age. Learning capacity varies with age. Some subjects can better be learned at the early age, and some during adulthood. On the evidence of the experiments conducted, Thorndike says that mental development does not stop at 16 or 18 but increases up to 23. And half after 40, learning proceeds rapidly between 18 and 20, remains stagnant till 25, and declines up to 35. Age accompanies mental maturation, so some complex problems cannot be solved till the person is sufficiently mature. Children learn the school subjects more easily than uneducated adults can learn. This is perhaps because the children's mind are not burdened with the worldly problems, and they have more flexible nervous system. But there are instances when person of 50 made remarkable progress in learning new subjects like music, foreign language. Mahatma Gandhi studied Hindi at the age of 40. Tagore began study fresh scientific subjects even after 50.
You will know from your own study that if you are anxious or worried, you will not be able to learn very efficiently. Psychological factors such as mental ill health or mental tension and conflict all hamper learning. Psychological factors includes mental health. Mental tension, complexes, conflicts, mental illnesses, and mental diseases hamper learning. A maladjusted child finds it difficult to concentrate. Concentration needs mental poise and absence of mental conflict or complex. Some pupils find it difficult to prepare for the examination simply because of fear of the examination and anxiety neurosis. A calm, serene, and balanced mind help the power to concentrate and learn better. Second is the intelligence. Research studies reveal that intelligence is positively related to learning ability of the children. You must have seen wide variation across individuals and cultures as to what actually constitutes intelligence. Intelligence is defined as the ability to learn about, learn from, understand, and interact with one's environment. This general ability consists of a number of specific abilities, which includes adaptability to a new environment or to change in the current environment, capacity for knowledge and the ability to acquire it, capacity for reason and abstract thought, and to comprehend relationships. Intelligence is significantly correlated with successful training and performance outcomes. Recent IQ tests have been greatly influenced by the intelligence, on which one is high in terms of manifestation, will thus determine that one learns, how well one learns, and also influence the various ways in which one seeks engagement in the learning task. It may be said that intelligence is positively interrelated with learning capacity of the students. And students high on intelligence are supposed to learn better and more as compared to their counterparts which low on intelligence. Third, Motivation. No learning takes place unless it is motivated. Purposeless learning is no learning at all. Every child is impelled by some motive to learn new things. Example, Matthew doesn't enjoy writing and is taking the class for only one reason. Getting an A or B grade in the class will help him earn a scholarship. Another student, Herman, always likes to write. The class will help him get a scholarship, but in addition, Albert truly wants to become better in writing. He sees it's useful for his future profession as a journalist. Besides, he is learning many new techniques for making what he writes more vivid and engaging. Matthew exhibits extrinsic motivation. He is motivated by factors external to himself and unrelated to the task he is performing. Learners who are extrinsically motivated may want good grades, money, or recognition, that particularly activities and accomplishments. In contrast, Albert exhibits intrinsic motivation. He is motivated by factors within himself and the task that he is performing. Learners who are intrinsically motivated engage in an activity because it gives them pleasure, helps them to develop a skill that they think important, or seems to be ethically and morally right in the things that they do. The fourth one is the emotion. It is a well-accepted fact that our emotions may play quite a significant role in guiding and directing our behavior. Many times, they seem to dominate us in such a way that we have no solution other than behaving as they want us to. Emotions are the feelings that color our lives and allows us to experience all the joys and sorrows of life. Thus, emotions play a pivotal role in providing our behavior a particular direction and thereby helps in shaping our personality. Fifth is the interest. Interests are actually deep-rooted constructions and are determined by the need structure of an individual. An individual with strong social needs such as belongingness, affiliation, and recognition will direct all his or energies into activities which enable him to fulfill these needs such as meeting people, going to clubs, association, parties, meetings, and etc. An interest may be defined as learned or acquired motive stemming from more inherent needs of individual, which drive him or her to act in a way that will sustain or satisfy his or her inner need structure. Self-concept. In the context of learning, the self-concept of an individual assumes considerably importance since it represents what an individual feels about himself or herself and his abilities to perform and achieve. Self-concept is a broader term which includes the subcategories self-image, self-esteem, and self-efficacy. Self-image refers to one's own perception about oneself. What are one's strengths and capabilities, and what are the one's weaknesses or limitations? While self-esteem refers to the value a person places on himself or herself. It is the ideas one has about his or her attributes and abilities. Self-efficacy refers to a person's belief in his or her ability to get things done. Self-efficacy addresses questions like, will I succeed or fail? Will I be liked or laughed at? We usually imagine future consequences based on past experiences and our observation on others. Self-efficacy is very important for learning since greater efficacy leads to greater effort, persistence, and learning, even in the face of setbacks. Self-efficacy also influences motivation and learning through goal setting. If we have a higher sense of efficacy in a given area, we will set higher goals, learn better, be less afraid of failure, and find new strategies when old ones fail. Learning styles. The learning style theories recognizes that individuals learn in different ways and that each individual has a unique style of learning. You must have noticed that some students learn well in the morning while some others prefer to study at night. Some students like to sit in quiet places while some others like to have music accompanying their learning. Many students report optimal learning while sitting on the dining table and also eating snacks along with their studies. Students who live in joint families actually develop styles of learning which are set in a public places. Learning can thus range from straightforward preference for physical surroundings to more fundamental difference that may be rooted in culture or personality. Success, praise, and blame. Nothing succeeds like success. Thorndike's law of effect is applicable most commonly. Experimental evidence shows that praise stimulates small children to work and learn, although it does not produce much effect on superior and elder children. Elder children are more sensitive towards reproof and blame than younger children are. Lastly, rewards and punishment. Rewards of all sorts are powerful incentives to learn. But these days in school, rewards are more abused than used properly. A first division of distinction in the examination is a false reward. Work is its own rewards. Pupils forget this point. They become over-dependent. Punishments arousing fear and anticipation may influence the pupil to work and learn, but not in all the cases. Sometimes, punishment creates bad reaction, retaliation, hatred, and disgust. Experimental studies shows that punishment interfere with the complex learning activities when punishments become frequent. Absence of punishment becomes a basis of low activity on the part of the pupil. In the absence of fear, they disobey and waste time.
Another factors affecting learning is that environmental factors. The key environmental factors when delivering your health education messages are the condition where the learners have to sit to do their learnings. Under environmental factors, we have number 1, working conditions. Learning is hampered by bad working conditions such as distraction, noise, poor illumination, bad ventilation, overcrowding, bad setting arrangement, and uncomfortable stay both at home and school. The location of the school, the internal setup, the accommodation, decoration, and healthful and sanitary conditions are very important for efficient learning. Number 2, we have organizational setup. The organizational setup of the school also influences learning. The timetable must be drawn in accordance with the psychological principles. It should avoid fatigue and boredom. Difficult subjects should be taught in the morning. There should be interval after some periods. The democratic organization promotes a healthy atmosphere for learning. The teacher-pupil relations should be healthy so that there is mental cooperation and the pupils are motivated to learn. There should be some sort of competition. The inter-class or inter-house competitions will stimulate the pupils to work more in order to outshine others. Rivalry and jealousy should however be avoided. Group emulation should be strengthened. The participation on the part of the pupils should be active. The pupil should not act as a passive learner. Guidance in the selection of subjects and activities in accordance with age and ability to aptitude of the pupils should be provided. Unguided children may oscillate from one subject to another and thus gather no mass. Next factors affecting influencing learning is methodology of instruction. Under methodology of instruction, we have number 1, in organization of material. The learning material should be properly planned and organized. It should be graded to suit the mental level of the pupils. It should be presented in a meaningful and interesting manners. Number 2, learning by doing. Practice makes a man perfect. Repetition and practice is important for learning. The pupils must be encouraged to learn through activity. Theoretical teaching should be replaced by practical application of knowledge, experimentation, and personal application. Children learn better through personal experience. Verbalization should be reduced to minimum. Next, we have special methods of learning. It has been found that some special methods give better results. In learning a piece of poetry, learning by the whole method and by the part method have been advocated. Sometimes it is helpful to recall what is learned and to recite by memory. Gestalt psychologists do not approve to trial and error learning. They advocate learning by insight. They discourage mechanical repetitions without understanding. Lastly is the timely testing. Through tests, the learner knows his exact achievement, and there is no scope for overestimation or underestimation. Occasional and periodical testing motivates the pupils to be regular in his studies. In this chapter, we have discussed the major factors affecting learning. To end this discussion, allow us to share a quotation from Robert John Meehan.
Every child has a different learning style and pace. Each child is unique, not only capable of learning, but also capable of succeeding.
You've reached the end of our discussion. We hope you learned something. Thank you and have a wonderful day.